Thank you very much, Cyril. You know, the great American writer Mark Twain once wrote, "The dog is a gentleman. I hope to go to his heaven, not man's." And for the narrator of a new book by Pamela Ditchoff entitled Phoebe's Way, the finite nature of our time on Earth is always present. That's because the narrator, Phoebe, is a St. John ambulance therapy dog that spends every Saturday at a nursing home in Safe Harbor, Nova Scotia. Author Pamela Ditchoff joins us this morning, along with a special friend, Willie, the therapy dog. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
This is such a dear, inspiring book based on Phoebe, kind of told from Phoebe's point of view. Who is Phoebe?
Phoebe was my Greyhound Lab mix, and she was worked with me as a therapy dog for a number of years before I retired her, and Willie took her spot at Queen's Manor in Liverpool, Nova Scotia.
So this is based on work that you've actually done with Phoebe and Willie, out working with the elderly and people who really need a special visit from a special friend. Why did you decide you wanted to write the story in the first place, and also from Phoebe's perspective, the perspective of a dog?
Okay, I decided I needed to write the story because each week when I came home from visits, my head would be full of wonderful stories from perhaps a man who had been a fisherman for 60 years, who had started when he was 14, or a woman that had been a school teacher all her life, a woman who had been a shop owner, a ladies' dress shop, a retired engineer. They were wonderful stories. And then in the other wing where the Alzheimer's dementia patients are, there were stories I wanted to write down of Phoebe's interaction with Alzheimer's and dementia patients, which is very difficult to put into words. Because oftentimes when a person with dementia cannot communicate with humans, they can communicate with dogs. And I think, in my experience, my mom has dementia and has for 8 years. In my experience, people with dementia still have a sense of presence. And if someone approaches them with guilt or fear or anger that their parent or spouse is in that position, or sorrow, that's picked up on. A dog approaches with a wagging tail and just no expectation. They're not going to try and pry anything from them, or just to pet. A good example is Phoebe. Early on, there was a person who was screaming, not loudly, but screaming a lot, and looked very angry. And I kept my leash tight. Phoebe pulled and went to the woman, and the woman put both